The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the June 26th, the magical Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I are going to check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, but even more important than that, and that's this. During the next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Would love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you've got a question, but you can't call in, you can always send me an email. For that, send that off to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Now, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any in every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Magical Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got a bit of a mixed bag. The mix comes like this. The Dow's off 42, the S&P's down 3, and the Nasdaq's off 26. The Russell's up 8, Semi's up 44, Trendy's up 120, New York Stock Exchange up 32. So that's our mix. Gold is up $5.70, trading at $19.35. Silver's up 50 pennies, trading at $22.86. Light sweet crude is up a nickel. Natural gas is up 3 pennies. 30-year Treasury printed out at 128.08. That's up 11 ticks. Now, lead the charge, dollar-wise, the upside. Lam Research about $19, 3%. Moon Lake Immunotherapeutics, 64% or $16. United Rentals, $10, 2.5%. Azimil Holdings, $10, 1 3/10%. Solar Edge up 3%, $7 and change. To the downside, Fibrogen off $13, 81%. Yikes. MicroStrategy, MSTR down $11, 3.5%. Northrop Grumman, 2% or $10 to the downside. Lockheed Martin off $10, 2%. NVIDIA off $8 and change. That's a 2% drop there. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. What you want to look at is what's controlling the markets. Well, I'll tell you what's controlling the markets. What I believe is controlling the markets. It's a 30-minute time frame right now for the NQ. So let's switch over to each of the 30-minute time frame charts out here. We'll switch panels. Give me a moment. We'll get to the white background charts here momentarily. What you will notice when these come up live on your screen is if you take a look at the upper right-hand panel, you'll see that we formed a bottom this morning with the TD9 count. That pattern completed at 5:30. Completed at 5 a.m. was the bar following bar number 9 that made that low. That led to a rally that identified a TD9 count top. That took place at 10:30 this morning. Now, what's transpired between then and now is prices pulled back and is testing TD9 count breakout support at 15,105.50. But the real key level of support out here is going to be that TD9 count bottom. And that price level that took place earlier this morning is at the 14,998.75 area. So TD9 count top, price is pulling back to test support. It would need to close below that 14,998.75 to really suggest to you and I that we should see lower price out there. So watch that to the downside. To the upside, it would be the TD9 count top or high of today, and that's at 15,152.50. Now, if you take a look at the ES mini charts, this also had a TD9 count bottom pattern, a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom pattern. So that both of those, and then price ran into resistance at its TD9 count breakdown level. And that's at the 4,450 area. But it's still the NQ that is the one that is giving us both the upside and the downside top and bottom signals out here. We don't have the same thing. We have the bottom signals for the Dow and the Russell 2000, but not the topping. Now you can see the Dow ran into resistance at that TD9 count breakdown level, 34,047. So that's a level to watch to the upside. 4,400.50 is to watch the upside. The lows of the pattern, these TD9 counts are Rhodes Momentum Indicator bonds for the ES. That level is out at 43.75.75. In the Dow Equity Future contract, the level to be watching is going to be 33.878. And for the Russell 2000, it's all the way down at the 18.25.10 area. Closing below those levels will suggest lower price. And those are so it's the NQ that is really controlling things here. If we move off of this set of 30-minute charts out here, which we'll do momentarily, I'm going to close this down and just go take a look at the NQ itself, the intraday charts. Give me a moment. We'll pull back to do that. That's right here. So on the daily time frame, what we have, well, it doesn't show on this chart, but it actually is a TD sequential 13 top that was confirmed last week. I believe was confirmed on Wednesday or Thursday of last week, and that led to a consolidation with inside its daily profile. There's two profile levels out there. If you're watching us during the during the 11 o'clock update, you'll know that the daily profile runs from a range of 14,950 to 15,370. So price were to close below 14,950, odds would favor move to the bottom of the daily profile calculated on the Ninja Trader chart. That would take us to 14,845 or thereabouts. As we look at each of the other intraday time periods, what we have out here are bottom patterns. Those bottom patterns being Gartley buy patterns that had formed last week. They formed on the 5-hour chart. It did that at the 2 o'clock time frame, and it completed that pattern. It confirmed that that was back on June 22nd. We have a similar type pattern as well as Rhodes Momentum Indicator pattern on the 4-hour time frame chart. But what price been unable to do is take out resistance, the top of its profile, which is at 15,171. So you can see you've got these bottom patterns out there. That really makes that 30-minute TD9 count bottom the key level that we're watching out there. And if price gets below that, then that would suggest to us that price should target 14,950. 14,950 again being the bottom of its daily profiles calculated by my eSignal software out there. And if you get below that, 14,845 would be the number. So it's the NQ that's really running the whole show out here, and that's where the area of focus should be. So I do hope that that helps you out. If we take a look at some other things, let's take a look at what's going on intraday-wise from a market breadth standpoint. So here come the 30-minute time frame charts. The 30-minute we've got for the S&P, which is what we have up on our screen. This is short-term bullish as we speak right now. Short-term bullish because 185 instruments are traded above the top of the 30-minute profile, 122 below the bottom. Let's go take a look at the NDX 100, see what it's doing on a short-term basis. On its short-term time frame, it has 23 above and 35 below. So here comes our choppy market out there. So the NQ negative for the 30-minute time frame. I believe the NQ as well as the ES are negative as well for the 60, the 240, and possibly the daily out here. Here's the S&P 500. Yes, it's a 60, 240, and daily. And if we take a look at the NDX 100, we have a similar setup. So it's a 60, 240, and daily out there that are in bearish structured mode. So back to the NQ charts out here. 30 testing that support, that breakout level, 15,015. We're testing support on the 60-minute time frame chart. That's in the 15,010 to 15,021 area out there. We're testing breakout support on the 15-minute basis as well as a 10-minute basis. So price has pulled back to support out here. It's got negative market breadth. Sellers should be able to push price below those levels. But if they can't, well, we're just in the trading range. And for today, that would come from the 30-minute chart for the NQ. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. We'll take a look at the charts here for Tesla's for John C. inside the Tiger's Den. John, we can see an A to B equals CD pattern that completed the sell to D point. That confirmed up here on June 21st when it generated that bearish engulfing candle. Now we have prices consolidating with inside its daily profile. The support range there is at 241.95, resistance at 261.57. That's the daily time frame. The weekly time frame does not have any kind of a topping pattern. It's got the A to B equals CD out here, but is waiting for a bearish reversal candle. Short of that, price is likely to target 313.80. On the monthly time frame, we can see that price right now is trading above its green oscillator and change line. It's trading above the top of its profile. John, both of those are bullish signals out there, and it would be only the intraday or the other shorter term time frames that would generate some concern out there. Well, the concern really comes from the daily time frame out here, but not from the weekly. So overall, Tesla looks pretty solid. Now, if we look at a 30-minute chart, let's see if we have any signals coming from the intraday, the 30-minute time frame chart out here for Tesla. And we can see this formed a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Does not look like, well, let me just see. Let's just do the A to B, and then let's just drag that down to a price projection area. Let's put this here. So the B point would be where it says D. So it has not completed an A to B equals CD pattern. So that much I see on the intraday or the 30-minute time frame chart. Perhaps this will form a TD9 count bottom. It would do that between it would be between 11:30 and 12:30, but price must spike below 250 even Steven between now and then in order for that to even have a possibility. And then bar number 9 would have to also close below 256.55 out there. That's what you would need in order to form a TD9 count bottom on the 30-minute time frame out here. But otherwise, Tesla looks pretty good. If it starts breaking breakout support levels such as 246.42, 202.79, but 246.42, that could be an indication of a change in trend that would be unfolding based upon the daily time frame. Now, that just may take us back to support. And that support level, again, is at 241.95. But as we speak right now, you've got the daily top. You don't have anything on the weekly chart, and just a consolidation with inside the profile. So, John C., I hope that helps you out with regard to Tesla, and thanks so much for taking the time to write in as well. And folks in the den would love more requests out there. Also, you can give us a call at 877-927-6648 or send me an email, steve@tfnn.com, and inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Let's take a look at take a look at Tesla, but let's go look at the other NDX 100 stocks out here. We said it's the NQ that's really been controlling things. Certainly, the 30-minute time frame chart has provided us with the best signals today. Let's look at the top 8 holdings. This is not the top 8 that we're looking at. That might be approximately the second 8 out there. But let's look at what I believe are very close to the top. Whoops, wrong chart. Be a moment here. The top 8, change windows, the top 8 instruments inside of the NDX 100. So number 1 holding, I believe, is still Microsoft out here. Microsoft has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Price is actually closed below, but not for 2 consecutive sessions, the bottom of its profile. That's what's under attack this morning. That level is 334.60. 2 consecutive closes below that are going to suggest lower price. Now, for lower price, I'd really have to go to the weekly chart. Let me just put the weekly. The oscillator and change line will not be correct, but that's probably where price would be headed to. So I don't see a top on the weekly time frame. I don't see a top that's in place there. I'm not going to be able to easily give you the weekly oscillator and change line, but price likely pulling back further inside of Microsoft. In the case of Apple, this formed a TD9 count top on Friday. It closed today above Friday's high. 187.56 would negate that signal, and that would suggest that Apple is going to continue to move higher. So a top on Microsoft. You do have a TD9 count top on Apple today, but again, you've got to watch that high, 187.56. You close above that, we're headed higher. NVIDIA doesn't have a top, needs a bearish reversal candle to do that, and price right now is consolidating with inside its daily profile. The bottom of which on that profile is at 412.79. We're printing right now at 413.65 or so. Amazon, no topping signal. A bearish reversal candle would confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. In the case of Tesla, we've already covered that. We know that was a sell the D point. In order for Meta to generate a TD9 count top today, price must close the day above 284.33. We're trading below that right now. But we do see a wave number 7, potential wave number 7 top out here. And that would need a lower high tomorrow. So in the case of Meta, Facebook out here, it does have the potential for a top. The TD9 count, it's questionable whether or not that will hold. It needs to close higher than where it's trading right now. In the case of Google, this formed a Gartley buy pattern. It did that on Thursday of last week when it generated that bullish engulfing candle. But price remains below the bottom of its daily profile, which has really acted as resistance. That's at 123.32. So even though it has a bottom, I'd say it's more neutral than it is bullish or bearish out there because of that bottom pattern. And Broadcom, I don't have a top in place out here, but price is also below its profile. So we're below profiles on Broadcom, on Google, on Microsoft, and that's it. So that's 3 of the top 5. That's why we've got this this back and forth battle that we have. If in fact we're going to get a significant top inside the NDX 100, we need these tops that are potentially in place here. We need to start seeing support levels broken, or certainly resistance levels not failing. In the case of Apple, right now, that's a hard one to say at the moment. We'll have a better feel for it at day's end. So that's what's going on. We take a look at the NDX 100 and what's going on underneath the covers. We just check the phone, see if there's any requests. Kind of a quiet Monday. It is summer out there. Hopefully everybody's had a nice weekend. Stevie's just catching up on sleep. So what do you want to take a look at next? How about the SMHs? So let's go flip over and see if we can find out what's going on there. Let me close out these NDX 100 charts. Actually, to do the SMHs, we're going to do it justice. Let's see what's going on underneath the covers here. So we can easily put up the ETF, but if you give me a moment, I think it's this one that'll populate here. So it should start populating the blue side of the screen. Okay, yeah. So here we've got Again, this was probably a snapshot of these top 8 instruments was certainly from before my vacation. So certainly more than 3 weeks old. So they may have shifted. But these top 8 are likely the ones that are in place out here for the SMHs. And so the upper left is Taiwan Semiconductor. Taiwan Semiconductor has a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom with price consolidated with inside its bullish structured profile. The support range for TSM is 97.54 to 99.18. NVIDIA, we've already covered that. It's testing support, profile support. Texas Instruments, what it did, or TXN, what it did was it found resistance at its TD9 count breakdown level. Now it's trading below profile. That suggests to us that wants to head lower. Qualcomm just consolidated with inside its daily profile. Support at 113.56. That was tested on Friday. Resistance 118.82. We already covered Broadcom, ASML. We covered that. AMD has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Looks like price is going to go target 103.49. Its breakout level. And KLAC, just a consolidation with inside its daily profile as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We get back to this break. We're going to take a look at DRRX for Dan inside the Tigers Den.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tigers Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tigers Den, available to all Tigers and Tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tigers Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tigers Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
welcome back. So back to the SMHs just to kind of round this out here. So when we take a look at the ETF, you've got that confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Price this morning rallied up to old support that now has become resistance. And that's the bottom of that daily profile. That's 115.14. So price would need to get back inside there to suggest to you and I that price is likely not going to head further to the downside. Now, today could be day number 2 below this bullish structured profile. And if that's the way that the day ends, counter trend move, if that's all that any kind of rally would be inside the SMHs, would find resistance at the 152.46 level. Now, on a weekly time frame, last week also confirmed a sell the D-point pattern. What that should do is take price back to the 142.53, 140.99 area. The monthly chart says, I don't know what you're talking about. It's in kind of breakout mode, but does have resistance up at its highs. Those highs have not been tested, 159.35. So what you do is watch that 150.14 area. As long as price remains below that, odds favor that we should see lower lows inside the SMH. Now, as far as a pattern that it could unfold, no idea what it could be at this stage here. Could be an A to B equals CD to the downside. Could be a TD9 count. Don't know. We'll just have to wait to see how this plays out. But continue to what? That 150.14 area inside the SMHs out there. Give me a moment. We've got Michael from Omaha on the line. Mike, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Doing real well. So you want to take a look at a firm. AFRM is the ticker symbol. Tell me what you're doing, how I could best help you.
I'm looking to hold long on it right as of today.
As of today. So here's what I would suggest. I've got the chart showing on Tiger TV inside our Tiger's Den. And what I don't have, so I've got a top with a TD9 count pattern. It did that, Michael, on June the 9th. Today is likely going to become bar number 8 of a TD9 count. In order for a TD9 count bottom pattern to form, you need to see a spike below Friday's low, and that needs to take place between today and Wednesday. Yeah, Friday's low was 14.55. So that's one element that you would need to see in order to find a TD9 count bottom pattern, is you need to get a spike below 14.55. It needs to be between today and Wednesday. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing it would need to do is tomorrow, price would need to close tomorrow below 15.50. So if you get that spike below the low of Friday, and then tomorrow you get a close below that price point that I gave you, then that would have a TD9 count bottom pattern, and that might occur right above where price broke out from, using that same pattern, 1402. So I think if you're already in, you might be in a day or two early, at least with regard to a bottom signal. Prices below profile support, 15.95. So that still tells me that it very likely wants to target that 1402-ish area out there. Does that make sense? Does that help you out at all?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks so much for the call. That was Michael. That was in Omaha, Nebraska, and that was ticker symbol AFRM. One other thing, I might as well just take a look at the 30-minute chart out here. So hopefully Michael's still listening in. And on a 30-minute basis, what price did was it formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, and it went on to form an A to B equals CD to the upside. The real key level that you're watching, I know Michael has hung up out here, is 15.27. You'd love to see price close about 15.27 for two 30-minute bars to at least suggest a further rally. But with regard to the daily time frame, looks like we could be a day or two early before the potential of a TD9 count. So I appreciate that call. Nothing really on the weekly or the monthly to assist us at this moment. Let's go take a look at, the next request coming in from the Tiger's Den, and that was from Dan inside the Tiger's Den. And Dan wanted to take a look at ticker symbol DRRX. That is Direct Corporation out here. Make sure we're looking at the right thing. We are. So Dan, as we take a look at this instrument, there's an interesting thing out here. There are two A to B equals CD patterns on DRRX for its daily time frame. One completed on Friday. So let's take a look at the one that completed. We'll draw the A to B out here. It's going to be and then we're just going to simply take that A to B level and move that over to the high that forms after that B point, so as we can grab it. As soon as we can grab it, there we go. And so here you can see the one-to-one price projection. As price gets down there, it was Friday that generated that bullish hammer candle. However, Price also gapped to the downside. So there's both a bullish and a bearish signal out there, Dano. Now, what I like to do is fill in that gap. And if you fill in that gap and the candle still remains, which it looks like it would still remain as a bullish hammer candle out there, then you've at least got a confirmed, and with price at the bottom of a profile, you have a short-term bottom signal. I said there are two A to B equals CDs. That's the first one. The second one, and this would be if price fails to hold the both the profile as well as Friday's low at 482, and that A to B equals CD pattern looks like this. I'll draw in the A to B point out here. Then once we have that, I'll just simply move this to the next high that forms after that, and that's going to give us our A to B equals CD. Both of these, I believe, were confirmed with volume out there. This one, yeah, on Friday, that volume was enough to get below. So the volume of the swing point was 226,000. Friday, I take that back, was only 199,000. So you don't have the confirmation of that. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. No, you don't have confirmation of that, but that would take it to the breakout area. So real key, Dan. Friday's low is going to be key. Not only was a bullish hammer candle, it may have confirmed a buy the D point or a Gartley buy pattern. So where are we at right now? Well, quite a wide profile. What you're really looking for, the next target to the upside would be the center of its profile, and that's up into 530 area. Both buyers and sellers reside there. Then if price can clear that level, your next area would be about 555. The reason I have to say about 555 is that number is going to change as price moves higher and lower. But a close above the oscillator and change line, that would then signal its intent to get up to 746. Of course, you and I know would have to deal with that swing point for May 31st between the range of 605 at the low and 674 up at the high out there. That's what the daily chart is telling us. The weekly time frame chart, we just have a consolidation with inside of its profile out there, nothing more than that, and a consolidation with inside the monthly. So DRRX really being controlled by the daily time frame signal. How are we going to know if that larger A to B equals CD is going to take place, or was it the smaller one? Great question out there if anybody had it. That question, if we take a look at a 30-minute time frame chart, we'll see the bottom out here, TD9 count. So as the daily was forming a bottom, so too was the 30-minute chart. You like to see that. Now what you'd really like to see is you'd like to see TD9 count breakdown resistance levels on the short-term time frame fail. So that first one up on deck is 529, and above that would be 553. If those levels begin to fail, odds favor that the Friday bullish hammer candle was in fact the Gartley buy point. That should then take price up at least towards that oscillator and change line. And again, if you get a close above that, you're looking at that move potentially up towards that 746 area. So Dan, I hope that helped you out. Thanks so much for taking the time to write in, and have a magical and magnificent Monday. No other questions that I see at the moment. So let's switch over from this set of charts out there. And let's go to where? Let's go to our horizontal trading range charts out there. At least take a look at that for the NDX 100 as well as for the Dow. Well, we'll have to do that when we get back from this break out there. Unless we get a question. If we get a question, we'll go to that because we've got call ahead seating. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. So let's take a look at a question here that came in. Let me see where this is from. This is from George. George wants to take a look at natural gas. I was trying to get those charts up, but put up the NQ charts instead. So we're going to start with the black background chart here. So could you look at natural gas August contract? Thank you, George. So George, what you're dealing with, what is really on the daily and the weekly time frame. You're dealing with resistance levels on the daily time frame, although not noted here. It's noted, it doesn't show the actual count. You'll see that when we put over the white background charts. Is that the session that formed on May 19th was a TD9 count top. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. So that sets up a resistance level. That resistance level is 2.885. A close above that is what you're looking for. If you get a close above that, price should continue to rally. Rally to where? That's a great question. That leads us to our next issue of resistance in natural gas. And that is the top of the weekly profile. Now, the weekly profile is bearish in structure. Does it matter where prices trade down on Monday? Well, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as where price closes on a Friday. The top of that profile turns out is 2.884. So what you really need is a close above 2.885. So price has made its way up to resistance, both on the daily, both on the weekly. With regard to the daily time frame, we're going to switch charts out here. I'm going to switch over, take a look at the white background charts. And on the white background charts, what we're going to notice here is that there was a sell the D point pattern. That sell the D point pattern, I'll just simply expand out the charts here. You can see the A to B equals CD just by those blue lines that I've got. That pattern forms or completes, in this case here, because it's an A to B equals CD to the upside, when a bearish reversal candle completes. Well, that completed back on June the 20th. On Friday, price took out that high. It negated that signal. Tells us that we have an A to B equals C to the upside with regard to its next price projection levels that we could be talking about, but really it's a new A to B equals CD. And that new A to B equals CD is going to look something like this. Now, let's take a look at natural gas for its daily time frame. Still has to deal with those resistance levels. So that's first thing up. If price can clear those resistance levels, though, the question should be, well, where is price then targeting? Right? We talked about that question. Well, the new A to B equals CD would look like this. We would go from A to B where we had that sell the D point pattern, and then we just simply move that over to the next low that formed after that sell the D point pattern. Well, the one-to-one price projection would get you up to about the 306 level. That's when we take a look at the daily time frame. So 2.885 is still your key area. Okay, let's look at the monthly time frame chart. The monthly time frame chart really not helping us out at this stage here. Bar number 8 may complete this month, is likely to complete this month. The question is, will bar number 9 form? That means next month, the month of July, price must close below $2.67. We're $2.84 right now in order to get a monthly TD9 count bottom. So that pattern that's showing up here, I don't know that that's really going to hold. But on the weekly time frame, you've got that confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. Price dealing with resistance. We've covered that ad nauseum. Now, if price could clear that level, its next price projection area would be up at the $3.37 mark out there. I gave you an A to B equals CD price projection, but 337 would be the TD9 count breakdown level. All right, so we've got the resistance in place. What do we have on the short-term time frames? Are there reasons to be concerned? And the answer there is no, not at the moment. The reason to potentially be concerned will come from your 30-minute time frame chart. So, George, what you should be watching with regard to the August contract for natural gas is the 30-minute TD9 count bottom at form with a price level at 2.828. If you see a 30-minute close below that level, that's going to suggest lower price. Now, I don't have a pattern on a 30-minute time frame to tell us where lower price would be other than its breakout level, which is all the way down at $2.64. That's why I say it could be a problem if price closed below that. Right now, price is just testing profile support, but the real at $2.84. But the real key level out here is going to be the 2.828 level. You close below that, not test it. You close below that, and odds favor that what you have is lower price coming at us. Now, that lower price on the daily time frame. Let's go back to the daily chart out here. We gave you one potential pattern, that A to B equals CD to the upside. Today is bar number 7. The other pattern you have to be concerned with is a TD9 count that could form between tomorrow and Thursday. We've got to come back to that one. Right now, price is just dealing with resistance. I don't have any clue as to whether it will be able to get through 285. We know that at this stage of the game, it has not. If, in fact, price starts closing below that 30-minute TD9 count, odds favor we've got a bit of a correction. And that correction on the daily time frame could or should take us back to its oscillator and change line, which recently changed colors. That's at about 259. So to summarize natural gas for you, it's up against stiff resistance on the daily and the weekly, has every right to pull back. That pullback message will come from that 30-minute time frame chart, and a close below the low of this morning, or was that yesterday? 626. That was this morning out there. And again, that number is 2.828. So hope that helped you out, George. I'm sure that you, as well as others, had that same question with regard to what's going on inside of natural gas. I did mention before that we go take a look at those horizontal trading range levels out there. So let's go take a look at that. No other questions that we have in the queue. We're going to change our screens, go back to those black background charts. Now, horizontal trading ranges, or primary trading ranges, is a tool that was developed, to the best of my knowledge, by Bud Rolfs out there. We're going to put up the primary trading range for the NDX 100. Now, this is the daily time frame. For those of you that don't know Bud or familiar with him, what Bud would do is he would visually do this. Now, this is the daily time frame. Visually, what he was looking for is the largest number of closes or opens. I refer to them as co-located closes or opens. Doesn't matter whether it was an open or a close. Was looking at each of those and trying to identify the largest number in a cluster, a small cluster. Well, here I've just automated that process because visually it was like, well, okay, that was pretty subjective. So Stevie said, why be subjective on something that's not subjective? We're looking for the largest number of co-located opens or closes, at least in the time period that you're showing on your screen, or I can set it to a different time frame. Well, if we take a look at this chart out here, the two that really show up are there's really three. There's 26 closes at 12,971. But if we take a look at the next price above that or below that, there were 10 and 8. But if we look at the price level at 12,034, there were 24 consecutive closes or opens there, and 20 at the price point below that level at 11,566. Those two levels set up the horizontal trading range. In other words, we take that distance and we just simply keep adding it up and down to those next levels to give us those price ranges. Turns out that they can act as key levels of support or resistance. As an example, the S&P, the NDX 100, which is what we're looking at, ran out of, well, let me get the data box open. ran into resistance on June 16th, and that high was 15,284, and it was 15,313. That was its horizontal or primary trading range boundary line. So that basically worked. There was also, we have diagonal trading ranges out here. These are price channels, and so you can either do it one of two ways. Bud's technique was to use the body of the candle and look for at least 3 co-located opens or closes out there. You can also use the trend lines. In this case here, what I've really got going are the trend lines out there. But we can see that what the NDX 100 did was hit resistance both a rising trend channel and a horizontal range. Now, the key level here, as you may have seen, is this 14,845 level. We're at 14,842. If we close below that, we're likely headed to 14,376. But price right now, sitting at support for the NDX 100.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at the horizontal trading ranges here for the NDX 100. We can see price sitting right now at support at that 14,845 level. You give it a little bit of room here on these price points out here. And if price closes below that, we're looking at likely run back to 14,376. Also, if you take out 15,313 to the upside, 15,781 would be the price target. If we take a look at the Dow, this is a weekly time frame. We were looking at the daily time frame for the NDX 100. Its level of support would be its breakout area. Its breakout of its descending trend line channel that's out there. We can see that 34,152. We've had 14 opens or closes on a weekly basis. That is a key level of resistance. To close out the show, let's go back and take a look at AMD. That's for the golf guy who wants us to take a look at AMD. If you give me a moment, we'll go ahead and change screens. What he'd like me to do is elaborate on a price point that I gave out there of 103.49 as being a potential price target. So here, as we take a look at AMD, here's what we know, golf guy. We know that this formed a Rhodes momentum indicator top. It does this on the trading day of June 13th. We know that then 4 days later, back on June 16th, price closed below the bottom of its daily profile and closed below for a consecutive second session on June 20th. That told us about a change in trend. The next level of support on a daily time frame would be its breakout area, the TD9. What it does, this for form date, this also had a TD9 count top that took place on May 30th. That still remains active. Well, that sets up a level of breakout support, and that's down at 103.49. That is where that number comes from, golf guy. Today is going to become bar number 7. What you need to see on this in order to form some type of bottom is a spike below at least yesterday's low. The low needs to take place on bars 8 and 9 of the bar following number 9. That means that the price must spike below, as a general rule. It's got to spike below 107.46. But then we also have to deal with closing price versus the close 4 bars earlier. So 103.49 is a key level. 109.58 is the weekly oscillator and change line. That's under pressure right now. So golf guy, I'm saying if today closes below that area, odds favor. Price is going to go target that 103.49 area out there, and that's how I came up with that number. So I hope that helps you out. Folks, thanks so much for staying tuned in it, and stay tuned. We've got great programming the rest of the day. I'll be back with you tomorrow on Terrific Tuesday. Please have a magnificent, a marvelous Monday. Take care and be safe out there.